What's going on, everyone? This is Keegan from KPSU, the promotions director. I want to make this informative video to let you know about a really good way to get new listeners to listen to your KPSU radio show. Given the signal that KPSU currently has and the resources, it's really hard to get listeners just purely through radio. That's where social media comes in and other devices. But Twitter is by far going to be the best resource for you to help get listeners for your show week in and week out. So if you don't have a Twitter account, please make one, a personal one for your KPSU radio show. Now, Facebook, for instance, it's a good resource. This is my Facebook page. It's a good resource to use, but it really only allows you to promote with your friends. And I'm going to exemplify that. I recently, if you just see right here where my mouse is, try to give away tickets on my show Manter Banter. I did, and I let people know about it on Facebook. But as you can see, only people who are friends with me get to know that. And even when I put it on my Manter Banter Facebook page, no one responded. No one liked any of the posts that I put up about giving away tickets to see Phenomena, because I'm only promoting to the 46 people that like me, and it's really hard to share and get the word out that you have a Facebook page for your KPSU radio show unless they don't hear about it in the real world. That's where Twitter comes in. Twitter is great because it allows you to communicate and promote to anyone in the world with related compatible interests, and that's if they stumble upon it or search it. So this is the twitter.com homepage, literally twitter.com. So let's log into my account. Just so you know, I'm using the Google Chrome web browser. So if it looks funny to you, that's why. So here's Twitter. This is where people get the feed from the people that they're following, and this is where I can post stuff to my followers. You can compose a new tweet right here, right when you log in, but if you're ever throughout Twitter, you can always compose a new tweet right here by clicking this blue box. This pop-up box shows up, and you can do it anywhere throughout Twitter. So if you don't see this, don't worry, just click that blue box. I don't want to go into too much of how to use Twitter. Other people can teach you how to use Twitter more successfully and probably more coherently than I can. But this is what I really want to tell you when you promote your show. First off, promote your show on Twitter, and do it 3 days, like 3 to 2 days before your show comes on. Like, tell people what you're actually going to be playing. Are you going to be playing new music from a new album that you've released? Are you going to be featuring an in-studio? Are you giving away tickets? Put it in 2 to 3 days before your show, because people use the internet whenever they want, and they aren't on the same schedule as you, and so you want to catch them like that in between time. Where they, if they don't use Twitter that often, they still might have enough time to catch it and know about what you're doing. So first, that's the first thing. Second thing, when you do mention who you might be playing on your radio show, who you might be giving away tickets to, who you might be having in for an in-studio, etc., make sure you're mentioning those individuals with the @ symbol. So, for instance, I gave away tickets to see Phenomena. So typically you would write, "Giving away tickets to see Phenomena," so forth, listen in at this time. But that text, if you just write it all in plain text, it's only going to be seen by the 83 people who follow me, or whoever amount of people might be following you. And 1 or 2 of those people might decide to retweet, which reshares what you've tweeted to other people's followers, and it's limited. So this is what you can do to prevent this, and this is something that allows you to kind of get multiple people to promote what you're doing at KPSU. It's a great resource. So like I said, use the @ symbol. Phenomena probably is a popular enough band artist. They probably have a Twitter account. If you don't know what the Twitter account might be for somebody, go up here to the search bar where I just went, and just type in who you might be featuring on your show. So Phenomena. and boom, their Twitter their Twitter profile name is @Menomina. And that's not always the case. You really need to make sure you know you're mentioning the right Twitter account. For instance, let's look at KPSU. Some people might just put @KPSU, but there's no @KPSU. There's @KPSU_PDX. So you have to make sure that. A great way too is to like and to follow the people on Twitter that you might be mentioning. For instance, I follow the Mean Jeans, and when I just type in Mean Jeans, it already shows up and inputs the actual Twitter profile name into. All right, here's more of the point of this whole thing. Sorry for this novel. So you enter @Menomina, and you want to see giving away tickets to see @Menomina they're playing at the Crystal Ballroom. So I would say the Crystal Ballroom, and I am following the Crystal Ballroom, so it shows up. Notice though how it's the Crystal Portland. So always double check to make sure you're putting the right Twitter name by searching what you really want to be mentioning, the Crystal Ballroom, which is @Crystal Portland. So instead of saying giving away tickets to see Menomina at the Crystal Ballroom, you're giving away tickets to see @Menomina at Crystal Portland. That notifies these Twitter accounts that you're talking about them, and they potentially and likely, because these are musicians that want to whore themselves in the media light, most of them at least, will retweet that and reshare that, especially if you're giving away tickets, or especially if they're a small artist or band or person, celebrity. Let's look at a good example with Ian from Ian's Hour of Musical Power. Ian recently, he's put on a post or a tweet right here, where, let's scroll up a little bit more. Today on Ian's Hour of Musical Power, my friend Kevin joins us for some music and talk, plus free tickets to the Bowerbirds, which is a band called Bowerbirds, at Doug Fir Lounge, as if you may know, it's a venue here in Portland, this weekend. Because he did that, now, well, first off, let's look at Ian's followers. Ian has 88 following, but because he mentioned @Bowerbirds, they in fact retweeted that. Also because he mentioned @KPSU_PDX, that's us, we retweeted that as well. Bowerbirds has, let's look at this, around 5,000 followers. That's potentially 5,000 people who saw that, who might have looked further and tuned into Ian's Hour shows, who have listened to your show, who might potentially be your newest fans. And not just actually Bowerbirds, although it doesn't say Doug Fir retweeted it. In fact, over here, Doug Fir retweeted it and reposted in a different way. Ian's tweet. It even says @Ian's Hours of Music. Stoked to see the Bowerbirds at the Doug Fir Lounge tonight. So whenever you post something mentioning who you might be playing, etc., make sure you're mentioning them on Twitter with the @mentioned symbols Twitter. Doug Fir Lounge, for example, has also 5,000 followers. That's so many people that potentially will be your new best listener, who will follow you week to week and will make KPSU a more successful place. And make sure, last thing before I head off, because that's the main tip. Last thing is that whenever you do a tweet, make sure you have enough room to put @KPSU_PDX. And this is why. When @KPSU_PDX is mentioned in your tweets, we know we will retweet it, and because that allows you guys to develop your own unique following. Instead of, using the Twitter function on the KPSU dashboard on the KPSU website, that just posts at KPSU. So today at noon, locals, all the apparatus, blah blah blah, is playing tonight, right? And that post, in most people's eyes, that looks like a KPSU post. But when you post with your own Twitter account and use the @KPSU_PDX at the end, that will allow us to do the same promotions that KPSU would normally do, but then also get people to potentially check out your Twitter account and see who you are and develop your following, and not just a KPSU following. So it allows you to be an individual while collectively promoting. So that's all I have for you guys today. Get a Twitter account. It's crazy weird, but crazy worth it, and especially for KPSU Radio. Anyways, Take care, guys, and keep rocking it. Thanks.